If we have a list of, things, stimulating things such as TikTok, YouTube, podcasts, movies, games, and things like that, and a scale from 1 to 100, 100% being the most stimulating, 0% being the least stimulating, and thus also maybe healthy, where would I put the different things? Where would I put TikTok, YouTube, podcasts, music, video games, but also, regular activity things such as walks, reading, music, and even hazardous things for our body and mind, such as drugs, heroin, and things like that. Where would I put them on that scale? I was interested in this myself, and obviously it's not scientifically based. I'm not a scientist, but based on logic and some research, I found out that some of these things, such as, things I mentioned, affect you differently based on how stimulating and novel they are to the brain. The more stimulating a thing is, the more pleasure we get from it. And the more novel it is, the more it's unhealthy for us if we don't moderate it. So that means, let's start with TikTok. On the scale from 1 to 100, TikTok is extremely, it's very novel. Every time you watch a video, every time you watch a clip, it's something new. And it's very stimulating. The punchline is there right away, instantly gratifying. So obviously, since it's so novel as well, it's very stimulating for the brain. I would put it at, maybe 70%. It's probably the most unhealthy form of consumer media that you can have or consume. So I stay away from it. But if you moderate yourself, you're going to be fine. I wouldn't recommend TikTok though. So I would put it on 75 to 70% on the dopamine depleting scale of this whole thing. Then you have things like video games. I would put that at, 70, 65, 70. It's instantly gratifying. It's healthier than TikTok, I would say, 65 maybe. You have tasks that you have to do, things that instantly gratify you, as I said, colorful worlds, music, and at the same time you have different levels that you unlock, gratifying progress without having to lift a finger in the real world. And your brain doesn't know the difference between lifting a finger in the real world and in a game. And since rewards come so easily in a video game, of course, it affects your brain in a different way than regular stimulus would do in real life. I would put that on a 65. Better than TikTok, I would say. Personally, scientists say that it can actually be healthy if you moderate it. Then you have things like movies. I will put that at, 55, 60. You have a story that you have to follow through. Not that much novelty. Depends on how fast-paced it is. But you have a story that you have to follow through. It's not instantly gratifying. You have to know the ins and outs of the characters, character development. There is a framework there that you have to be within to understand the whole movie if you pay attention. I will put it at 55. Actually, long form content that is good for your brain, although you have to moderate it, of course. You can't watch movies all day long, but it's still much healthier than TikTok. Then you have YouTube regular content. 15 minutes video on average. I would say if you have a 3-hour session on YouTube and you watch 15-minute videos, pretty stimulating. You have something new all the time. Not all the time, but every 15 minutes, 10 minutes. And I noticed that on myself, that when I watch after 3 hours, on my offline days I'm offline, but when I'm allowed to consume media and I watch YouTube for 3 hours or 2 hours or whatever it is, I feel that my brain is kind of fried after those 3 hours. Depends on what kind of content that is. But if it's YouTube videos, highly stimulating, new content, new subscriptions that you can go through and watch, I will put it at, at least 60%. something like that, 60, 55, 60. Not as stimulating or more stimulating than a movie, which I put at 55 or 50, but not anything near TikTok, so 60 maybe. And then you have things like podcasts, which are basically the healthy aspects of internet. I mean, if you consume podcasts that last for 2 hours, you get streamlined information that is very, it's linear. It's not as stimulating as, you don't get new content every 5 seconds, and you have concepts that you have to understand and think about. There's a red thread there that you have to follow. It basically simulates an everyday conversation with your friends. Depends on what you watch, what type of podcast you watch, but it's long format. It's what I would consider the healthiest part of the internet. It's no pictures, no music. It's just people talking. And that is the healthiest aspect of YouTube. I will put it at maybe 40%, 45% on that scale from 1 to 100. 100 being the most unhealthy. I would put it at 40%. Then you have music. Depends on how you consume it. If you flick through songs just to find a new stimulating song, I mean, that's not healthy for your mind and your brain. But if you listen to albums and listen to songs all the way through, I've heard scientists say that attention spans are down to 1 minute and I don't know, 30 seconds or something. People don't even listen to full songs anymore. 30 seconds and then they skip to the next. If you listen to full songs, full albums, obviously that's healthier for your brain. So I will put it at 40%, something like that. Sounds, novelty, but still healthier, much healthier than video games or TikTok. Then you have reading. So reading is basically slow information that your mind is making sense of through words and symbols and sounds. You're actually training your mind to do something. You're not getting information passively. You are creating meaning in your mind, and that actually takes some brain power. So you have to be able to understand things and make coherent meanings. It's basically calisthenics for your brain. You're lifting weights with your brain. So I will put it at, it's very healthy, 20% maybe. It's not novel. You don't get novelty it's novel in terms of plot and things like that, but you don't get novelty, sounds, sights, new information every 5 seconds. So it's slow information. I will put it at 20. It's healthy. That's something you should do more of. If we have a tier list, it belongs in that tier. Things you should do more of, healthy things. And then we have the things you should balance tier, which was the previous: YouTube, screen time, games, all of that. Then you have, going for walks. Going for walks is as natural. We've done it since the Stone Ages. A simple walk will not stimulate you in the same way. Dopamine will not be depleted right away. Serotonin levels, the chemicals that kind of makes you feel content, might rise. It's meditative. So I will put that at 10% maybe, 15%. If reading is 20-25%, then on that scale, walking is like 15%, 10%. Very natural. It's natural. You have the natural world around you that your mind is taking in. Nothing more than that. Introspection while you walk. Doing nothing. Sometimes you do nothing. You just watch people. You don't even have to call it meditation, but I will put that at 0. 0 input, no novelty, no, there's nothing you have to, you just sit there. I will put that at 0%. If I'm supposed to do that, Socializing also, I will put that at, I don't know, that's actually good for you. So maybe 5%, 10%. If walking is around 5%, then I will put that at 10%. Again, very simplified way of looking at these things. I'm not a scientist, but just to make the picture clear. The tier that I'm going to talk about next is interesting. It's things that are really dangerous for your brain. And that's a tier that I put above the consuming, TikTok and things like that. I will put it as a tier that can damage your brain and your body and your mind. Drugs, if you have on the tier list things that really can damage you, your mind, your brain, and your body, I would put heroin at 500%. If TikTok is at 70%, heroin is at 500%. Once you've taken it, your brain is done, your body is done. It will take a long time to recover, and your inner rewiring are completely destructured from how they naturally were. So heroin is probably one of the most dangerous things you can do. Then you have alcohol. I will put that at 200% maybe. Your brain is totally fried after consuming many drinks. And I don't drink, but I know that people who get a hangover, they instantly feel the effects of what a couple of drinks can do. That's because your brain is fried. Dopamine is completely affected, and avoid that. Keeping it as simple as that. What else? Marijuana, I will put that maybe below that. It's not as dangerous, but I think, I haven't tried it, and I don't dare to try it, but I will put it at, if alcohol is 200%, I will put marijuana maybe at 150. So those are the things that you should completely avoid. Stay away from them. You have the YouTube digital screen thing. Be balanced with that. You have natural stimulus. Do more of that. Reading. I don't know if I mentioned that. Put it at 30%. Yeah, I did. And then you have the things you should avoid, which is the things I mentioned now. Chocolate, I would put that at, 80. No, not 80. Maybe 65%. Very delicious. You want more of it. The taste completely stimulates your brain in a way that not much other food does. Sugar, right? But then you have a tier that is actually very good for you, which I would put underneath the YouTube tier or the internet tier. Not internet tier. I will put it in a minus tier underneath the normal stimulus. That means if you do more of them, that's actually good. More of these things, of course, in a healthy balance. For instance, if you run a marathon, or if you do cardio and run and you get your BPM, 150 BPM or 180, your brain actually produces new neurons and it expands. It's called neurotrophic brain factor. I think that's what it's called. I'm not a scientist, but literally what happens is your brain produces more neurons so that the connection in your brain increases between different neurons and the signals they send. So dopamine levels, they increase, but in a healthy way. The same with cold showers. The same with meditation. All of these things are healthy for you and good for you. So I would put them in a minus. Minus physical activity, rigorous physical activity at minus 20%. Minus is a good thing. Meditation at, maybe -5, -10. Cold showers, which also studies have shown, increase your dopamine levels by 200% and change the physiology of your body in a positive way. I would also put that at 15% maybe. So those are things that are healthy for you that you should do more and actually affect your body and your mind in a positive way. The same can be said for being creative. If you have a creative output that you do every week and you have to focus your mind and your brain and you have to channel, you have to be in the flow states, that's obviously very healthy for you. And I would also put that in a minus category, in a healthy category. So those are the 4 tiers. And something that I was just fascinated by, how different activities you do can actually affect you in a positive or negative way, depending on how stimulating or novel or chemically intoxicating it is. You have the things you should avoid, You have things you should balance, things you should avoid: drugs, alcohol. Things you should balance in moderation: digital screen time, video games, stimulating but not dangerous if you balance it. Things you should do more of: books, stimulating, social interactions, all of that. And then you have things that are healthy for you, which is physical activity, cold showers, social interactions, creativity, where you have to really put your heart, mind, and soul into it. That's all I wanted to say. Hope you like this video. Comment, subscribe, like, and hit the bell, because then you get notified every time I release a video. And that's it. Peace.